Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us in another Live with Mia event. As most of you know, Mia is the owner and founder of eBoo. And today we are going to be taking this hour to walk you through our new spring 2023 collection. Mia's in the barn in Massachusetts. We also have some other team members here. Amy Reitzma is here in St. Paul. She's our VP of sales. We have Ashley and Liz, who are sales managers. And then we have Sarah Duart, who is in design and marketing, and she's Mia's right-hand woman. So super excited to all be here with you today. Just as a little reminder, eBoo will be attending a couple trade shows in the month of February. So we will be at New York Now, which launches February 5th. And then later in the month at Toy Fest. So if you're attending, please come by. You can see all of these beautiful products firsthand, feel and touch them all. We are going to be recording this, so we will share it out at the end of the meeting. So the catalogs, if you have your catalogs, we are going to be going in order of new items in the catalog. So it's great if you want to jot notes down as you go. We do ask that you ask questions. Liz is going to be manning questions and answering them as they're being asked. If there's anything that we need to address at the end of the presentation, we will have time at the end. So please feel free to, to stick those questions in the chat. And as far as catalogs, if you have yours out, Ashley is going to introduce this new wonderful retailer resource that we've included in the catalog, and she'll be walking you through that and how it can be a resource to you. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy. And Ashley, I'll let you kick off the retailer resources.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. As Alex mentioned, I'm Ashley. I'm probably the contact you've dealt with if you've reached out to us for anything related to images, anything on social media, anything like that. I just wanted to take a quick second while we're all here to let you know that we do have this great resource. It's a Dropbox folder, which is linked to our wholesale site. It's also linked in all of our emails that you're receiving from us. And then you can also find a QR code that will get you to this section of our Dropbox as well on the back of the catalog. So that's a new thing we've recently added. But in retailer resources, you can find all of our product and lifestyle images. You can find in-stock dates for products that have not yet released, or restock dates if something is currently out of stock, which luckily we don't really have much of that right now. We're in really good stock position. You can find product UPCs, you can find our trade show calendar, videos for gameplay, lots of good informational videos, and then a lot more. Also, you'll find at the bottom of the website there in the footer, you can link to all of our social media. We are on quite a few platforms now, and we would love to connect with you there, either Facebook, Instagram. We're recently on TikTok, so we're getting that kicked off. You can find videos again of the products on YouTube. And we're always happy to share. We love beautiful images of your shop. So if you tag us, we're happy to post that on our page as well. And then just don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything for a collaborative giveaway, demo products, an image that you're not finding in retailer resources. We're always happy to help out. And then I am just going to kick this over to Mia so she can get us started.
Hi, everybody. We had a lot of new initiatives this season. We did a lot of seasonal products that were good for Valentine's Day, Easter. Maybe you've seen some of those. And we've done a lot more in we've done some beautiful new games, new game formats. But one of our big initiatives as a business was to be even more eco and sustainable than we have always been. Since I began at eBoo 30 years ago, since I started eBoo, I always had it in my mind that I wanted it to be as green as possible. And things have changed a lot over the last 30 years. So it's been possible to get greener and greener. But I just wanted to run through a couple of things that we're pointing out now on the back of our catalog. And if you want to follow along on the back of our catalog, we're now we're really showing what we're doing so that people understand, because there are different levels of being sustainable. So first, just to say we're WeBank certified, which means we're a woman-owned business it's a very rigorous process that you have to go through to prove that. They audit your tax returns, they look at everything, but it identifies you as a business that is run and operated by women. So we are now carbon neutral. We are working with an organization called Climate Partner, and they they do an audit of your entire operation, and they tell you what you need to a program to which you could participate so you can offset your carbon footprint. So we've done that through one of their partner programs, which is an afforestation program in Brazil. We were doing tree planting in Nicaragua. Now we just started a new one, and that's in Brazil. We use FSC certified paper. I think it's important to point out because it is a more costly way of manufacturing, but it is definitely a more ethical way, which is the paper that we print on, which is just the thin paper that's glued on top of the cardboard that we use for 99% of our stuff. That FSC certified means that there is an organization, a reputable organization, that audits paper manufacturing, and they certify that not only is the paper that what you're buying, if you're FSC, is not hurting any community that it's coming from, but it actually benefits the community where the paper is coming from. So it's really wonderful. It costs more, but it's definitely worth it because it really assures you that you know what kind of paper you're buying, which is not always true. We use recycled materials. Our cardboard, the gray board that we use for everything is 90% recycled post-consumer waste. We use vegetable-based inks, which are very vivid, but are much safer and sustainable than conventional petroleum-based inks. Now, inside of all of our products from about 9 months ago, we use something called the Good Green Bag. Now, these are in our big Peace and Love puzzles, but also in our little puzzles. Now, these bags cost more because they're an alternative to plastic, and they're made with plant-based materials, compostable and biodegradable. I always say combustible. And my husband always says, don't say combustible, say compostable. They're not combustible. They are compostable. And now all of our inner packaging is made with this. And then, of course, an overarching principle of ours is just to reduce waste by making things that are really high quality, because we think if you give, if a family has something that is really high quality and doesn't break, they're more likely to keep it for a next child or to pass it on. So I think sort of like one of the tenets of being responsible ecologically is just to make stuff that doesn't break and you don't want to throw out. So you'll see all this on the back of our catalog. Sorry to run on, but I think it's important to reiterate. So now we can go to our actual product, right? Okay. So this is our catalog. Maybe some or all of you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, please reach out and we will get you a copy of this. This is a beautiful piece of art by an English illustrator named Victoria Ball. And it's actually one of our Peace and Love puzzles, one of our best-selling Peace and Love puzzles for this season. So we'll go to our first product, which is an EBU product. So this year we only did one catalog, partially to cut costs, but also to be more ecological. So we're only doing one catalog rather than a Peace and Love and an EBU. So it's EBU at the beginning and Peace and Love at the end. So I don't know whether you can see me, but the first thing in our catalog that I want to show is centering cards. And we did two of them. We called them centering cards. We did two different versions. One is called Anytime, and one is called Bedtime. And these are both resources for parents to use when they need to kind of calm their kids down and get them ready for activities. The Anytime is like anytime you're out in the park, you want to they come with a little cotton bag. There's a set of cards like this. Comes with very good instructions. The cards are large, like our flashcard size. You can put them in a little bag like this, and they come with a little timer. And what they are little exercises that are really beautifully illustrated. And they're just a great tool to kind of, if your kid is losing it a little bit, to kind of pull them out of the scene and kind of give them visual exercises or physical exercises that will calm them down. And they're broken up into different categories that have different color borders. We have listening and sounds, visualizations and seeing. So this one, for example, is imagine you are a little mouse curled up in a warm mitten with a warm piece of fresh bread. Close your eyes and smell the warm, fresh bread. Feel your whiskers and rub your warm belly. Eat the soft bread in tiny mouse bites until you are full and sleepy. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. So they're all like that. They're very simple exercises. There's a little timer so that each card maybe takes 2 minutes or so, no longer. So it's nothing that a kid is going to dread doing. And there's a lot of them. And so kids can either choose which ones they respond to, or the adult can decide which is the best kind of exercise for the kid at that moment. So those are the anytime ones. And then we have another set called bedtime. And what's really beautiful about these is the art. Well, there are a lot of nice things about it, but one is that the artwork is done by Kevin Hawkes, who's a really well-known children's book illustrator in Maine, and he has 5 kids. And he did the illustrations, and my husband Sax did the writing, wrote the exercises, and they're both really good fathers, and they really know kids very well. And it's just a really nice perspective. My husband is also an artist. So you look at the art, it's really calm, it's really empathetic. They're not quickly done. They're very thoughtful, and the exercises are very thoughtful, and they're definitely, we've vetted them through psychologists, child psychologists, through teachers, through nursery school teachers, through young parents, old parents. We've really had a lot of people look at them, and everybody really loves them that has used them. So this is what the back looks like. The bedtime one has a little piece about, it has a couple of cards about sort of setting up routine and other exercises about calming down, whatever. I took a long time with these, but they're really beautiful and very special. They're printed with a gold foil on the front, so they look very special. They don't look like a scary therapeutic product. They look like a beautiful EB product. So the next thing we go to, I think, is the Let's Talk. Let's Talk cards is something that came up in a conversation with EBU people. We always have these trend meetings where everybody pitches in their ideas. And on this occasion, the last occasion, a number of people talked about how during the pandemic, we've all lost some of our ability to communicate really well. So this was sort of, we were talking about how adults were doing it, but it was really striking how much we thought kids not being in school and being isolated probably felt that same way. So these are cards that are broken up into different categories, and they are, for example, there's this one. They've got different color backs, so they focus on different skills, but this one is speak with confidence. But if you are unsure of something, be open about it without sounding insecure by saying, I'm not an expert, but, ask questions to find out if you're not an expert on something. So, or if someone proves that something that you are saying is wrong or untrue, be gracious and admit you were wrong and move on. They're all very basic stuff, like make sure you're listening, make sure you let someone speak all the way through, don't interrupt. They're very basic things, but they're a nice exercise to run through as adults, and they're super nice to run through with kids. I think obviously it's a great skill, and communication is what a lot of our EBU stuff is about. So that's Let's Talk. So the next thing, I guess Liz, someone is following, you're following the page thing, because I can't see it so much. This is an exciting new thing that we did, is we took 2 very classic games that both have Oppenheim Gold Awards, our Sloth in a Hurry and our Spin Me a Robot, which is the Spin Me a Robot is ancient. It's about 20 years old, and it's always been in our top 20 products. And Sloth in a Hurry is just a great game that's really good for families to play. So we made them into these really nice shaped boxes and used the artist Linda Bleck. They're still all the same components. They have the Sloth in a Hurry has a spinner and cards, and it's a who card. So you pick who you are. So maybe you're a detective, and you pick a what, trying to go to sleep. And maybe these are backwards when you see them, I'm not sure. So there's a who, a what, and then the spinner tells you like sick and sneezy. So you have to be a detective. So maybe you have a spyglass, and you're trying to go to sleep, and you're underwater. So you're blah, 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 blowing bubbles or something. So you have to combine, it's a very simple improv game. All you really have to do is have one person that knows how to read in the group, but you can play it with any age group. They're very simple. There are no winners. If you give it your best shot, you get a little gold star. And we've had nothing but really great reviews about this product. And now it comes in this really irresistible box. So that's Sloth in a Hurry. And then Build a Robot, which I'm sure a lot of you know if you know the eBoo line because we've had it forever, is comes with a spinner, and then it comes with pieces that are numbered. Should have pulled out the head first, but there are a bunch of heads that say number 1, and there are a bunch of little top bodies that say 2, and then middle bodies that are 3, and then feet that are 5. And you spin, you need a 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece, 4-piece, and 5-piece, and you get to pick which part of the robot, and you put them all together. So you build a little robot of your own, and there are like many, 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 many different combinations because there are lots of pieces. And it's a very simple game, and a 3-year-old can play it. And I think kids enjoy it very much because we've done very well with it for a long time. And now it's in this really nice box. So next is these little memory games. So, I mean, I'm sure if you know eBoo, you know that we've done a million memory games in our time, and we try different formats. We did this smaller size. For this year, we did 2 seasonal versions. This is 5 inches by 5 inches. It's the same size as a travel bingo game, as you know, little thing. And Love was specifically for Valentine's Day, but we think it could probably go through the rest of the year. And these are less expensive versions of our big memory games, but they're still on really nice board, not quite as thick and not quite as big as our full-size boxes. And they've got this little pretty little ridged edge. And as always, all of our products have beautiful backs. These are 18 pairs rather than our big set, which are 24 pairs. And they're inexpensive, and this one's great for Valentine's Day if you have time to get that. We did in kind of a spring holiday, Easter or whatever spring holiday you're inclined to celebrate. So those are 2 of our seasonal things. And then we did garden. So little, because gardening has been so interesting to everybody, and cats. So are these backwards when you see them? They're backwards to me. Okay, I'm glad they're not backwards to you. Good. So these are cats, garden, and under the sea. So we have 5 of this new format, and they're less expensive, and they're a great pickup item. And seems like they've been on a lot of orders since they came out, not but 3 weeks ago. So those are those new memories. Then we have a new format, and people were really asking for these, although there are a number of other ones on the market. We did scavenger hunt games. We did an indoor version and we did an outdoor version. My main objective with these scavenger hunt games was to dissuade the general rogue, marauding atmosphere that scavenger hunts usually are. Just being a parent myself, it chills my spine to think about children running through my house, opening drawers and looking for things. So I wanted, and we also wanted to add a little bit more thoughtfulness, but we definitely didn't want it to be a game of marauding. We wanted it to be a game of looking and thinking. So we did things a little bit differently. With the inside version, the cards are like this, and they have these little codes up on the top, like when you see an eye, and it has a very good instructions thing, so it's easy. They're translated on the back. If it says there's an eye there, it means you have to look for something that looks like a tail. So it could be a bathrobe tie, like a bathrobe belt. It could be your mother's ponytail. It could be anything, but it's a look. You're not actually looking for a horse's tail. You're looking for something that looks like a horse's tail. Sometimes there are just things that are just, you have to look for something that is this thing, but you're looking, you're not grabbing, you're just looking and you're pointing. You're looking for a stuffed animal, or you're looking for a shirt. So, and then in some cases, you're looking for, if you see a ruler, you're looking for something that is the approximate size of what you're seeing here. You're looking for something that's as tall as you. So if you're a little guy, you're looking for something that's about as tall as you. So maybe a dresser or I don't know, the stove if you're very little. So there are different things like that, and they have and they're different clues, and there are different categories. And you can do it without making having mass hysteria. And then we did an outdoor scavenger hunt game, and I was very attentive with this one to realize that, you know, people live all over the place, and they don't always have mushrooms outside or deciduous trees, for example. I grew up in New York City, and I was very aware that what I had access to outside was probably very, very different than kids that grew up in the country. So we tried to make it things that, you know, were more common. Like we have some cards that are just having kids look for a color. You know, look for something that's yellow. When you see this little sign in the corner, you're looking for a shape. You're looking for something that's a square. Up here, there's a little nose and a little hand and a little ear. These are for things that you can hear, smell, or touch. So you're looking for a good smell, or you're looking for a bad, something that smells bad, or something that's loud. And I don't know, I think it's kind of a nice EBU version of a very classic activity. And I think people can have nice fun with it. And it is translated, and it comes in this nice little box, and it's an inexpensive pickup item. And it's very well explained on the back what all of these different things are. So I think it's nice. It's a looking and thinking games. So those are the scavenger hunt games. Then we did a bunch of these guys this season. I call them the bricks. I don't know whether we have an official name for them. They're assortments, and they come like, I call them bricks because they come like this. They come like a brick. And then you get them and you open them and you put them like this. And they make a nice store display like that. And we have a bunch of them in our line. We have little mini cards. We have little mini puzzles, little mini sketchbooks. These are mini puzzles, and they are biomes or habitat puzzles. So there's a rainforest and a deciduous forest and the savanna and the tundra. And they're little guys like these. And it explains what, like this is the rainforest one, obviously. And on the back, it says a rainforest is a biome with a continuous tree canopy, thirsty plants, and a large variety of animals and plant species. So there's a little tiny description of what that habitat is. And it's a little box, but it's a 36 piece puzzle, but it's not a tiny, tiny puzzle. And the pieces are not really tiny, and they're shiny, and they're printed on the back, which I would show you, except it's taped. So it doesn't look very pretty, but it's got a very pretty pattern on the back. And these are very inexpensive pickup items. And I think people are interested in biomes and habitats and sustainability. And I think and the preservation of the planet. So I think these are really nice for this season. That's them. Now I'm going to show you, it's not continuous with other holiday products. It's continuous with other brick product. So this is a little brick of Valentine sketchbooks. So this was a really nice thing to have for Valentine's Day, and maybe even still have time to have some for Valentine's Day. These are our nice little sketch pads, and they're 5 of each of 4 styles in the brick, and they have very nice quality paper, because we think children should draw on nice quality paper. These illustrations are by Linda Black. The little brick is really cute, so it looks really nice in the store. So we did sketchbooks. And then we always do matching sketchbooks and pencils. And our pencils are super nice. They're really good quality pencils, which I don't think people always do for kids, but the quality of our pencils, all of our art supplies, is really nice. And they're also foil stamped with the funny, these guys have little polka dots. These guys have little swirls. They're just, they're 12 colors. They cover really well, color and cover the paper really well. They're really cute, and they're just a super nice pickup item like that. And again, the display is different than the sketchbooks, and they just make like a little story. That's pretty. So those are the Valentine stuff. Then we did one more brick of, we did a redo of our dinosaurs. We refreshed them and made them much brighter. So these are little and nice paper, like I just said, and 4 different styles. 4 different styles. And then we did nice dinosaur little pencils to go with them. And these dinosaurs are all done by Linda Bleck, who is a great children's book artist. And they're super cheerful, but interesting and accurate. So those are that's the dinosaur brick, pencils and sketchbooks. And now I think this is one of our best things for this season, although there's lots of nice things. More dinosaurs. This is a big honker of a product. It's heavy. It's really well constructed. These are ready to learn dinosaur puzzles. You get 4 nice sized puzzles in this box. Each puzzle is a different dinosaur. And what's nice and exciting about these, and I say that seriously, not, I say that seriously, I think they're quite exciting, is that they're beautiful artwork. And then when you turn off the light, they glow, the skeletons glow in the dark. And they're nice big puzzles. Like this. And then, well, let's see, what's this one? Is this the one? Yes. So when you turn off the light, you see that, and you see the name of the dinosaur. And they really glow, like they don't like glow, like they really, they're super bright. They're really great. They're very exciting. It's not like the glow in the dark of my childhood. It's really glow in the dark, non-toxic, glow in the dark ink. And you get 4 of them in this one package. 36 puzzles, 36 piece puzzles, very thick board. They're all printed on the back with a different pattern, so they're easy to sort. And that's those guys. And those are called Ready to Learn Dinosaurs, skeletal systems. We have a new format. That's a new format. This is a new format. We did these things called very long puzzles. These puzzles make a 34 inches by 15, I think, something like that. They're very long. We did musical instruments, and we did an alphabet train, and they're in a slightly longer, horizontal long box. And I'll show you how long they are. They're very long, very long, very long, very long. And I think this one's really nice. I don't know if you see this fully, but this shows, we get asked for musical instrument things a lot, and we've never really done one this carefully. But this has got most of the instruments that are in a true philharmonic, like a classical philharmonic, but it also includes a lot of folk instruments, which is fun also. And this thing comes with each of these puzzles comes with a poster, so you can put it up on the wall. And this is the, this is the train. And it's really fun. I mean, it's giant, and the pieces are super, super thick, and they're super, super shiny. And every animal in its little car is, their name starts with the letter on top of their train car. But there's so much to see, and the pieces, each piece has got something or more than one thing on it. It's super nice. So that's that. So those were the new very long puzzles. Then once again, not in order of seasonal, but in order of puzzles. This is our new 20-piece spring puzzle. So this comes in, let's see, this is our 20-piece box, our normal little 20-piece box. And this is the size of the puzzle. Not everybody realizes that this is such a big puzzle. It is quite a big puzzle, even though it comes in a little box. The pieces are, this not that big. They're big. So this is by Linda Bleck, and these are kind of Eastery, but also very springy. So that's spring. And then we did a very nice Valentine one. all of our puzzles are always printed on the back. So there's always something nice to be found, nice details to be found in all of our stuff. And they're always really super thick, really, even though it's a little puzzle and it's inexpensive, it's really made beautifully. And I don't know if everybody knows that we use recycled board, gray board, which is gray. And then we print a sheet of white paper on FSC paper and we glue it to the front. But we also take a second piece of paper, which we print, which is this, and we glue it to the back so that it really remains there's no dust ever, because the dust of the cardboard is captured between the two printed sheets, and it makes them very sturdy. So that's something special about Ibu products. So that's that one. Then we did a little mini version of the musicians. And we did a little vehicles puzzle, because there are a lot of little guys that love vehicles. And this one, it's got a dump truck and a taxi and a helicopter and a sailboat and just a million different things that go, which I think is exciting for a kid that likes things that go. So you can see it's like vivid and nice and has kind of a retro feel, but very, very bright, nice colors. That's vehicles. And this is the music one. Okay. Do I only have one thing left for Ibu? Yes. One thing left for Ibu, which is a, maybe some of you or all of you know about our Love of series. We did 2 puzzles last season, one called Love of Bats and one called Love of Bees. And the idea was to kind of uplift species of animals that people either just didn't like, they thought were gross, or they thought were scary, or both, and elevate them because they're really wonderful and very good for the planet. Bees and bats are pollinators, and you definitely don't want to be in an environment where they are not doing well, because it probably means we're not doing well either. And sharks, which I find very scary, but I know a lot of children really are interested in sharks. But people, like, I'm scared of sharks because that's reasonable, but they're really wonderful and they do a lot to balance the ecology of a healthy marine system. So this is Love of Sharks. All of the Love of 100-piece puzzles come with a nice fold out poster in which all the creatures are labeled. So for a kid that really likes and wants to know those things, which many kids do, because it's almost like a, it's something that builds confidence. When kids really learn systems, well, a lot of kids really love learning systems. And I think we try to make all of our 100-piece puzzles, most of all of our stuff generally, teach you something or teach you multiple things. So I think this is a wonderful one because there's like eels and rays, which are related to sharks, and lots of names, and it's interesting and it's beautiful. It's by a German illustrator named Ute Krugman. Oh, and this is the puzzle. So some of you may not be aware that even though we don't say that our 100-piece puzzles are giant, they're really pretty giant. They're very giant. This is how big they are. And they're beautiful and shiny and durable. Okay, so that's Ibu. And now I'm going to move on to Peace and Love. So I did one new format for Peace and Love because Peace and Love is really just puzzles. I did a pinochle deck, which I thought worked very nicely as a bridge between the Ibu stuff and the Peace and Love stuff. Card games especially I was interested in because of a number of things. One is that immigrants bring games, and specifically card games, to this country, and I feel like there's a lot of bad stuff said about immigrants, but I think there's a bunch of wonderful things that immigrants bring with them. One is wonderful games, but also the desire to play games with people in their community. And by playing games with people in your community, you're facilitating healthy conversations, you're spending time away from the screens. A lot of people, when I talked to them about card games, said they had learned card games from their grandparents, many of whom were immigrants, and that was a way for grandparents to bond with younger generations and spend time teaching and thinking. So I think it's just a wonderful thing that we have in this country that we don't give enough credit to. So Pinochle is a slightly complicated game, but there are very good instructions in here. We got help from a group of women that run a series of clubs up and down the East Coast in the Mid-Atlantic called the Pinochle Bugs. And they're a civic organization, but they play pinochle while they're discussing civic opportunities in their community. So it's got a little score pad. And then the pinochle deck is a single deck. Our cards are beautifully foiled on the side. The pinochle deck is a slightly different deck. It doesn't have, it's only the ace through the 9. And we have very nice face cards. We have face cards where the people are of different ethnicities, which is a nice little Ibu thing. And they're very pretty, and they're printed with colors that are not quite as harsh as you would see in a regular card game. So that's Pinochle. The artwork is done by Ross McDonald, who's a very well-known editorial artist. The edges are foil stamped in this beautiful gunmetal color. And so that's them. And then I didn't mean to do it, but they just were so beautiful that I ended up doing 3 bridge sets. And all the bridge sets are just regular card decks. Every bridge players have different scorecards, and they play with different rules. So we didn't put a scorecard in here. And a bridge deck, even though it's exactly like the ace, king, queen, all the cards, they're just slightly narrower than a regular card deck. So these are bridge sets because they are slightly narrower. And you can see there's like this incredible foil. And then this is artwork by a wonderful English collage artist from the middle of England named Sarah Jarrett. And these guys have also incredible, you can't see how kind of greenish gold this is, but it's very pretty. And we used very unusual gilding on this gilded colors that I don't see very often on cards. There are they're finished with a embossed weave pattern, and they are very snappy, and they're really great to shuffle. They're really high quality cards. And the box itself has got this beautiful tray and a beautiful printed inside and foil stamped on the outside with these crazy colors. So that's the Sarah Jarrett one. Then we did one with a Swedish illustrator named Malin Galvinson, and these are also really beautifully, the foil is just like beyond belief on these guys. Very shiny. And then the trays are beautiful, all different patterns. And the last one we did was a Monica Forsberg one. Monica Forsberg is a Swedish artist who lives in London, and I love her, and we do a lot of stuff with her. But again, the foils are, the side gilding is just the craziest colors. And the other one is green. So I don't know, people have enjoyed these so far, and I'm very proud of them. I think they're very beautiful, and I haven't seen anything that looks like them. So those are the bridge sets. And that was my new introduction for Peace and Love, but I also did our regular stuff. I did a new 500 piece puzzle with Jennifer Orkin Lewis called Birds and Blossoms, which I think is beautiful. It's got this kind of cafe au lait brown color in the background, which I think is unusual and really pretty. I mean, it's very pretty when it's completed, I think. And then I did 8 new 1,000-piece puzzles. The first one is with an artist named Asta Barrington, who's from Bath, England. And this was the first puzzle I've done with her. And these are Scottish songbirds. We've had a lot of interest in things that were Scottish, and obviously there are a lot of puzzlers that love birds. And she has a really beautiful kind of airbrushed old-fashioned style. And it's got these nice tartans around the outside. So that's Birds of Scotland. This has been sort of our blockbuster so far. This is English Hedgerow. And this is by Victoria Ball. This is what's on the cover of our catalog. So this is a continuation of this little narrative that I've got going with, that started with the English cottage. And then the English cottage was the front of a little cottage with the greenhouse and a garden. And then I did another one called the Blue Kitchen. And the Blue Kitchen is the kitchen of that English garden, and out the window of the picture of the Blue Kitchen, you could see that it was in the English cottage. And now this is the backyard of the English cottage. So it's a series of 3. And I'm doing a bunch of different series, the English cottage being one of them. And I've got another sort of series of cities happening. This is This is a green market in the, or travel puzzles. This is a green market in the south of France by Ute Krugman. And it's got lots of vegetables and fruits, and it's a fun puzzle to do because there's lots of different areas of color and lots of objects to find, and animals and birds and cats and things like that. That's new. We did this one called Reading and Relaxing, which was something we heard from everyone at EBU and everyone around us, that people wanted pictures of people just like chilling out. So this is a woman in a bathtub with an incredible view, with all of like this nice stuff around her, like books and potions and her telescope and her globe and music and her cat, just like a very nice place to take a bath. And this is by a Malaysian artist who goes by the working name of Eureka. She also did the bookstore Astronomers. This is a bouquet by Malin Galvinson, the Swedish artist. And we did, I mean, I had her put sunflowers because it was sort of a support of Ukraine thing back last summer when I commissioned it. It's very beautiful. It's got tons of detail, the strawberries and bees and lots of summer flowers, foxglove and poppies and very bright colored birds, sweet peas. So that's summer bouquet. And then last is a collage by an artist that we've used before named Claire Borsch. This one's called Hummingbirds and Gems. And she's also a collage artist. She's from Berlin. And she's not actually a commercial artist. She's a artist, and she does room size installations of collage pieces like this, made up of earth elements, flora and fauna and gemstones. And she does it to call attention to certain climate, to general and specific climate issues. So I thought it was beautiful, and so did she, to compare kind of the beauty of hummingbirds that are very gem-like to actual gems. And so there are a lot of different beautiful stones and hummingbirds in this piece, and it's a really fun puzzle to do, and very filled with detail. So that's that. So I don't know where we are with time, but we have a little, I'm sure if anyone has any questions or wants to see anything else, I can tell you anything else. Any questions?
There was a few in the chat, so we'll just go through those first. And if anyone has any additional questions, please just add them to the chat and I will read them for Mia. So Cindy asked, could you speak about the Oppenheim Awards and what they are? And
okay, the Oppenheims, I don't know, they've been around a long time because they've been around since I started, and that was 30 years ago. They're a mother and a daughter, and they found themselves qualified in the 80s to review games and give them recommendations. And I guess their recommendations were thought to be good. And so they get a lot of recognition. They're very often on the Today Show. I think they have a regular segment there, and they have something called the Oppenheim Portfolio, where they post reviews and recommendations for toys in a zillion different categories. And unlike other awards that you see on games, you don't pay to submit. You submit, and then they review it and judge it and write you up if they like you. And they like EBU stuff. I think when I started out 30 years ago, I was an anomaly, this young mom in a basement apartment making toys, and they've always been very kind to me and supported me. And so we have a lot of Oppenheim Awards for a lot of our product, and that's that little sign that goes up. And every year almost every year they profile one of our things on the Today Show at Christmas time, holiday time. Is that sufficient answer?
I think that should cover everything.
Okay.
Someone wanted to see the printed backs of some of the puzzles, even though they're taped. They just want to see the printing on them.
Is this one going to fall apart? Okay, it might. That's a little biome puzzle. Ooh. This is a pickup challenge. This is the back of one of the dinosaur puzzles. This is the back of the vehicles puzzle. Woo! Well, this is the back of the Easter puzzle. Is that sufficient?
Yeah, I would just wanted to show that they're
Okay.
all unique. They're all unique
They're
to the
all unique.
puzzle. Yes.
100% unique.
And then someone asked, where does the name Ebu come from?
Some of you may know that I started Mud Puppy a very, very long time ago. And I realized during that process that finding the name Mud Puppy was very hard because every time we went to the trademark office, and that was really before like faxes and emails, you had to like write them a letter and you'd write them and you'd say, what about like Frog with Boots? And they'd say, sorry, Frog with Boots is, 10 days later, 2 weeks later, Frog with Boots is taken. You say Hippopotamus with Stripes. Sorry, Hippopotamus Stripes is taken. So like, it's very hard to find names that haven't been trademarked in one way or another. And so when, it was a miracle that we came upon Mud Puppy, which I think is a really cute name. But when we went to do Ebu, we thought, okay, we're not going to do this again. We're going to really find something that's really unique. And I always like the word for owl in French, which is Ebu, but it's spelled Hibou. But we thought people would say Haibu. And then we thought like little E, big B, little O would look like, a little owl, first of all. Like the shape kind of looked like a little owl. And we thought it sounded like peekaboo or eekboo, or I don't know. It just seemed like the very perfectest name. And it was before e-commerce or e-blasts or email. And it just was unique and a nice kind of symmetrical, but not quite, which is, I think is nice. Design wise, I think is nice. Get that.
Cool. And then someone asked, I don't know if we have any, but do we have any juggling balls around that we can show? I don't know if you have.
We
I know
do.
you usually
I have
keep
one on
those
my,
around.
I have one on my desk that I
It's like you
squeeze all
always
the
have one
time.
around somewhere.
I always have one. Well, the dog is always after them. But hey, Sax, do you have oh, Sarah, I have one here. It's on my desk. I cleaned up. Not that you guys could see that. Well, this isn't kind of a one that I've been squeezing, but they're recycled velvet, which I think is unusual. We don't call out the fact that these are recycled, and I don't know if anyone else is making recycled juggling balls, but it's recycled velvet cloth, and there's a recycled filling, and then it's embroidered, which I think is pretty incredible. And they just feel really great, and they're good size. And all my kids juggle, and they tell me that this is a really good size and good texture. So, and the juggling balls come with a nice poster that opens up that's illustrated by Ross McDonald that really tells you like a step-by-step way of learning how to juggle. Plus we have things on YouTube that tell you how to juggle that one of my kids made.
And then the other thing that someone wanted to see, I don't know if you have this around, do you have a Garden of Eden puzzle in the barn somewhere?
Yes, we do.
I think that one is also really beautiful because the metallic
But
ink.
Sarah has to find it.
Okay.
So if you wait a second, if there's another question, I can answer that. Or is that it?
I think that was our last question. So
I
if we
have a
want,
question.
oh, go ahead.
I want to know, would you ever consider when you held up your puzzles that were put together, they were spectacular and impactful. If a kiss cut of those puzzles would be available with a certain size amount of puzzles ordered, I think that could go a long way for the stores to impact for your display to be more impactful and to move the Ebu brand even further, because what you have is glorious, but it's boxed and it's not, people can't really see how beautiful your stuff is.
Well, we hear you, and we have done that. In the past, pre-COVID, we made a lot of kiss cuts, and we found that people, the shipping was kind of prohibitive and things were getting damaged. And not that many people in the end wanted them. We do have them, and we have them available. And certainly if anybody, I mean, we wouldn't 100% be able to positively say we could get you one, but if you really wanted one and it was a specific style and you would really use it, we can get one and send one to you. We just didn't find that there was like a mass interest in it. Yeah.
And can oh, sorry, Cindy, I just want to add, we're always happy to send a demo. And once the store gets that puzzle, if they want to put that together, and we can send instructions on some tips on how you can easily use like a double-sided tape to mount it. We're always happy to include a demo if the store wants to go ahead and, and put it together for a display piece. That's always available to you and to your retailers.
I appreciate that. I think that I think that's great, but I think the Kiss Cut, and I guess I was clueless. I'm sorry, I didn't realize all that. But I love the Kiss Cut idea because it's so simple for them. They don't have to put a lot of effort into putting it together, etc. And with less and less employees, they don't have time for a lot of stuff like they would
Sure.
like.
Well, we do get a couple of them every season, like the ones that I showed you were our Kiss Cuts. And if we had one for a particular customer that really wanted a particular style, we can send it to you. I don't think we understand we wouldn't know how to order them and stock them and keep them because we really did try it and we just didn't get any traction with it. But if we found that like we had definite interest, we could always ask for them at the beginning of a run.
That's
Have
great.
like 5 or 10 of them sent on every style, and if somebody wanted them, we could send it to them.
I think maybe the reps, at least I was completely clueless. So maybe now that more people know about it, maybe that'll
It's
be
true. We
interest.
did not have much of a puzzle line in the past. So we can discuss that. Absolutely. We'd probably pick like 1 or 2 styles in each release to have. And I'd love to hear more about that. So we can talk about that. Thank you.
I think that's it for questions. If anyone has any additional questions, obviously feel free to email us. We are happy to help. Give us a call. I think Alex just has some wrap-up notes for us. And thank you, Mia.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all so very much for joining us today and for your participation. We are recording this and Ashley is going to be adding it to the retailer resources. Lori, one of our retailers, asked if it was going to be recorded. She wanted to share it out with staff. So I think that's great if retailers want to share it with staff, if reps want to share it with retailers that couldn't attend, that will be available to you. Also for attending retailers, you will be receiving a $25 credit on your next order. So we do have a promo code that you can add. So just for attending, you will be receiving a 1025 and you can put that onto your next order. We also have a short but super engaging summary that we're going to be sending out after this meeting. We would love for you guys to share your thoughts. Again, it's short, but you do get another $25 credit if you go and fill that out. So that's $50 on your next order.
It's a survey, not a summary.
I'm sorry, a survey. Thank you, Mia, for correcting me. So a short survey, and then we're drawing a name for a $250 grand prize. So retailers, thank you for attending. We'll be posting the winner at the end of the day. And yeah, I will be going to Las Vegas this Sunday. So if you guys are there, please come visit EBOO at Kathleen Maloney's showroom. We'll be in New York. We'll be at Toy Fest. I know some of you guys said you're going to be attending. So please stop by. We can't wait to see you in person. And thanks again for joining us. And Mia, thank you so much for this beautiful presentation.
I do have Garden of Eden. Sorry.